Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a new AI that's really shaking things up and going head-to-head with the biggest names in the game.
When you think about advanced AI, a few major players probably pop into your head. But the field is anything but static. New challengers are always stepping into the ring, trying to claim the top spot.
And that's exactly what we're looking at today. A new family of models called Qwen3.5 is making some serious waves. And based on what we're seeing, it's not just showing up to compete, it's actually winning some major rounds against the reigning champs.
So how is it pulling this off? Well, today we'll introduce this new contender, then we'll pop the hood to see what makes it tick. After that, we'll throw it into a couple of arenas for a vision showdown and a battle of language and logic. And finally, we'll uncover its secret weapon as a truly global AI.
All right, so what's the secret here? What gives Qwen3.5 its competitive edge? Let's take a look at the core technology that's driving this incredible performance. So the source material points to a few key breakthroughs, from its architecture to its training infrastructure. But there's one on this list that's the real game changer, the foundation for everything else, that unified vision language foundation.
This is it. This is the big idea. Instead of teaching the AI about images and text in separate lessons, this approach trains it on both, at the same time, right from the beginning. It's kind of like how a child learns from a picture book. The words and the images create meaning together. This is the secret sauce, and it's what unlocks these huge performance gains we're about to see.
So let's see how all that fancy tech actually performs in the real world. It's time for our first showdown, and we're putting Qwen3.5 up against the absolute best out there. Models like GPT-5.2, Claude 4.5 Opus, and Gemini-3 Pro.
First up, a skill that's become absolutely essential. Can it read? Not just words, but can it understand text inside complex documents, charts, and all sorts of images?
And bam, right out of the gate, it's a clear win. On OCRBench, which is a major test for this kind of thing, Qwen3.5 hits a 93.1. That puts it well ahead of both Gemini-3 Pro and Claude. No question, it's a top-tier performer here.
Okay, round two. This next one is a notoriously tricky task for AI, spatial intelligence. It's not just about what is in an image, but understanding where things are in relation to each other. And the results here are, frankly, staggering. I mean, look at this. On the VBET benchmark, Qwen3.5 scores a massive 95.8. That doesn't just edge out Gemini-3 Pro, it completely blows past its own previous version, showing a huge leap forward in understanding space.
So what does a jump like that really mean? It's a true generational leap. And you really see it in highly specialized fields like medicine. When you look at benchmarks for analyzing medical images, it's not just a little better than the last version, it's in a completely different league.
All right, let's switch arenas. We're moving from vision over to language and logic. This is the home turf for large language models, a real battle of wits and reasoning, where the established champions are usually at their absolute strongest.
So first things first, can it actually follow orders? It's one thing to have a ton of knowledge, but can it understand and execute a complex command you give it?
And here, on what many would consider GPT's home court, Qwen3.5 doesn't just hold its own, it actually takes the lead. It scores a 76.5 on the OCRBench, just squeaking past GPT-5.2 and leaving Claude 4.5 Opus pretty far behind.
Okay, let's give it a practical, real-world job. How does it do when you turn it loose as an agent, sending it out to browse the web to find answers for you?
And here we go again, another decisive win. Using a specific strategy mentioned in the analysis, it hits a 78.6 on the BrowseComp benchmark. That's a score that handily beats both of its main competitors at navigating the web to get things done.
But, it's not a clean sweep. The competition is incredibly tough, and when you get to the super complex world of advanced software engineering, the old champs, Claude and GPT-5.2, they still have the edge. It's a close race, but for now that's a title they still hold.
Okay, for our final section, we're going to look at what might just be Qwen3.5's most powerful, most unique advantage. It's ace in the hole in the global AI race.
Just look at that number. 201. That's how many different languages and dialects Qwen3.5 is built to support. We're not just talking about basic translation. We're talking about a deep, nuanced understanding that's ready for the entire world.
And hey, this isn't just a marketing claim. It's been put through the ringer on some really tough international benchmarks, testing it across dozens of languages. And in those tests, it stands shoulder to shoulder with GPT 5.2 and beats Claude pretty decisively. It's the real deal.
So what's the bottom line here? The big takeaway is that the AI race is far from decided. Qwen3.5 has proven itself to be an incredibly strong, well-rounded competitor that excels in some really key areas. Its arrival doesn't just raise the bar, it lights a fire under the whole industry. Which leaves us with a really exciting question. In this arena that's changing so fast, who's going to be the next one to step up and challenge for the crown?